do we get better at hearing God's voice? It's a question I'm often asked. We know that when it comes to hearing God, there's no formula or sets of rules. That's because hearing God comes in the context of a real relationship, and every relationship is unique. However, there are some principles that will help position our hearts to hear the voice of the Spirit more clearly. One of those principles is learning to trust. Trust lies at the heart of any relationship. If we don't trust someone, we won't hear or receive what they say. And the same is true for God. We learn to trust that God means what God says. Scripture tells us that God is trustworthy and can be believed to deliver on his promises. God is not human that he lies, not a human being that he changes his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? At the beginning of my God Conversations journey, God asked me to give my savings away and trust him to take care of my finances. I was horrified. I'd been planning to use the money to fund a big overseas adventure, and it was even to work in missions. But God's voice had been really clear. So with a lot of reluctance, I withdrew my savings out of my bank account and put it into the offering bag at church. I still remember how I felt telling the mission organisation about it. God told me to give my money away. I felt a little crazy. I'll never forget the staff member's response. She just turned to me and smiled. I knew God had to deal with the issue of money in your heart before you came away with us. Then I watched as the money began to flow from all sorts of unexpected places. It was miraculous. For all the time I spent overseas, I had just the right amount to live on. Through that whole experience, I learnt that God is trustworthy, that God is not a human being who lies. When the Spirit calls us, we can trust God's words. But the principle also applies in reverse. Can God trust what we say? We sing those songs, I will follow you. I'm yours, Lord. I surrender all. But do we mean them? The Spirit calls us to seek God's kingdom first. And when we position our hearts to follow, we can guarantee that God will take us up on it. The question is, will we say yes? Jesus said that we show our love for God by what we do, and it's then that God can reveal God's self to us. It's then that we're ready to receive more of God's revelation. To hear the voice of the Spirit more clearly, we must learn to trust God, and then in turn show that we can be trusted. Then God can speak clearly. Thanks for listening to Everyday God Conversations today. Come join us on the journey to hearing God's voice more clearly for yourself by subscribing to our email devotional plan at godconversations.com. And I look forward to seeing you next time.